Hey everyone, welcome back to Trekyards. He's Commander Cox.
He's Captain Foley. Welcome. So this, Stuart, is a Star Trek Online vehicle from middle of the olden days, a little bit newer than some of the ones I looked at recently. I do remember it. I have seen it. We're going to look at it in detail and see it. It's certainly a different sort of design. So Stuart, big question then. Do you remember it? Do you recognise it? And first thoughts?
I don't and I like it. It's reminiscent of something else, but I can't quite put my finger on it. I'm sure it'll come up as we talk about it, but yeah, this is an STO ship, and I don't recall the Emissary class. I really don't.
What were you in the original, when you played the game originally, what engineer, science, tactical were you?
I don't remember.
Because I was always science, and therefore this is a science ship, so I got access to it. But in the olden games, A, there was less ships, and B, you were locked into whatever you picked. So if you weren't science, you would just not have seen this. For me, and this is a bold thing to say right at the gate, with very few tweaks, this could be a non-Star Trek ship. The way the shapes integrate is pushing a little bit out of the conventional box. Now, Stowe does all the different boxes, all the different conventions, whatever. But you could convince me to say, gosh, an advanced Lost in Space ship if with like 7 tweaks. Just because the overall shape in this view has a certain something else to it. Is that a bit harsh, or what do you think?
No, I think that's absolutely fair, and yeah, I kind of agree with that, actually. Like I said, it reminds me of something else. I just can't quite put my finger on it.
Well, it has a certain Dauntless vibe with the sort of shape, sort of nacelle, sort of secondary hull, which is all just one big neck. So it's meant to be sleek. It's meant to be future sleek, which is what Stowe is meant to be. So it achieves its goal. It's just maybe not quite the way I would do it. And a lot of windows as well. A lot of windows. What stands out to them?
Well, the engines feel very Protostar-esque to me.
Long time
The
before
Inset
the
Bizarre
Protostar.
Collector.
Long time before.
Yeah, and it's kind of a Kelvin-esque, the blue glow there is very reminiscent of a lot of the Kelvin ships.
And given that Zachary Quinto was in the first version of Stowe, the JJ stuff obviously existed. They probably take inspiration because that existed, right?
Feels kind of like a submarine almost, kind of like DSV. It's got that kind of vibe where it could be. I don't know if that's what's sparking a thing in my brain or not, but
One thing it's trying to do, I don't think quite works, is those just rather large plate chunks on the front. I don't feel a justified reason for them.
they do feel very aesthetic driven, and they almost feel like they're floating too. They don't really feel like they're attached. It's a weird look. It's almost like they have shadows underneath them.
Yeah.
On the other side, you can see that they're integrated into the hull. So
Yeah, well, yes.
all right, we'll go to the next picture. And again, it
Wow.
feels like another ship to me that I can't quite pin down, and it's really annoying me. Not the Dauntless. Well, I see the similarities with the Dauntless for sure. I kind of like this view.
Yes.
This is quite unique, actually.
It's super integrated sleek, to almost the nth degree, and it's nice, but it feels other sci-fi.
A little bit, yeah. The windows seem really out of scale with those escape pods. STO windows in general are kind of small and weird. So I think they just make them smaller to make the ship feel more massive.
And they could be portholes for all we know. And this is obviously one thing that the early Stowe stuff failed at. There's no pennants. There's no red lines. There's no... All of the stuff... There's no RCS thrust. The colour elements that are absolutely essential, this thing ignores in whole cloth. So it's just a giant silver vehicle. It's lacking key stuff. And the nacelles feel barren because of it. You know, it's a problem. And early Stowe, right?
Speaking of lacking important stuff, where are the impulse engines, or are they on the underside somewhere? What's with the Buck Rogers 1950s styled end caps on the nacelles with the like spirals?
Because fancy?
It's an odd. It is fancy. It does look kind of cool.
Honestly, they might be hinting they're the impulse engines.
I don't have a problem slapping impulse engines on the back of a nacelle, because the back of the nacelle never produces thrust. Look like tail lights
Yeah.
on a car.
Yep. Very odd. Very odd. Now the bottom view, deflector really helps. And it takes away all that integration feeling of the top. I see shuttle bays. That's very interesting. Side-mounted bays. This, I think, works better, but my brain, I feel like, auto-completes the top with, like, Voyager details. And then I think this is very apt.
Yeah, once we went to this view, I'm like, yeah, this is very Intrepid-esque. Maybe that's what it was reminding me of. You can imagine those nacelles actually articulating also. I know they
Well,
don't, but...
Well, very protostar from this view, like just like so close. In the abstract, of course.
And that's fine. I like the Protostar just fine. I'm wondering why they named it the Emissary class. I would associate that with something Deep Space Nine, because they always do that, like the Pathfinder class, things like that kind of relate to the shows.
But this was early gen, so... But I do like Deflector. I actually do like the amount of windows on this, which is huge. And in fact, it shows a slight mirroring flaw in that if you look at the bottom, you can see secondary hull goes to a point and the texture of the windows then mirror, which means that right up to the point of the secondary hull, there's windows, but there's obviously no core ejection. There's nothing there going on. They're just kind of whatever. But I kind of like that sense of it's like a giant turtle with a big shell at the top and then all the living area is at the bottom. That, I think, kind of works. Again, in abstract.
Yeah, we're also lacking, as you said, phaser strips, escape pods on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Some kind of auxiliary craft.
No, they're there. They're just extremely grey.
Like an aero shuttle or a captain jet would have filled in that space
just
nicely.
Flat. What a waste of space.
Some kind of something there would be nice.
And I'm assuming that those red glowing elements on the side of not the tiny ones, the big ones, are side-mounted torpedo launchers. Because they're not RCS thrusters unless they are, but they shouldn't be.
It's lacking RCS thrusters as well. Now, usually the weapons points on these STO ships are those little tiny red ones, not the torpedo-looking ones that are quite large. Again, those aren't impulse engines, unless it flies backwards.
Which, is weird enough it might do. But maybe the next few will give us answers. And yes, there is the bottom impulse engine.
I was wondering when I looked at it from the top, I was thinking, is there an impulse engine in that middle part? Because with the way it was angled, didn't think so, but here we are. And I don't have a problem with that. A big, bulky impulse engine at the back. I kind of like it, but there's only one. You got no redundancy if it gets damaged.
I mean, the Enterprise D, tiny neck-mounted impulse. Yes, it has the saucer ones, but they're not on.
But they could be if the main one went down. So, here you get to see those spirally Buck Rogers type nacelle ends quite a bit better as well. And another thing, I'm looking for shuttle bays. There's two things on the side of the secondary hull which could easily be shuttle bays.
Yeah, it must be giant bays.
But yet, there's no real shuttle bay detail there, so...
I mean, cargo shuttle, big through bays. It's so integrated, I guess they just thought, let's just integrate it into the... And then add a hard line shape, which is not integrated. Strange. What?
A ship that I don't hate. It feels very White Star-ish. Like you said, it feels like some franchise. It could be Babylon 5. It could be so many different things. But yeah, it still works as in Trek.
Just hyper advanced down a specific pattern, which shows that even still, again, at least in my brain, having nacelles, saucer, neck, deflector, you can push it just a little bit, etc. Maybe Stuart the Orthographics will decide our fate. So the top and bottom view, very whale-like. Not in a bad way, but I think the shapes can combine well from this abstract sense. There's logic, there's through line, very pointy. I mean, everything is all about the harsh recontrast of points.
It's nice. I do like it. I just wish, looking at this view, I wish that the nacelles were a little bit longer, perhaps. Very few other changes I'd make except for add those Star Trek details. Pennants, RCS thrusters, couple more impulse engines. There's a few spaces you could put them. Yeah, it's very Intrepid-like now, especially from the bottom.
Because the way this is framed, I would love to have seen it with not literally back to back to back, but phaser strips along. So because it's all basically one giant surface or two, saucer and secondary hull. Just have constant lines of phaser strips everywhere, as if the ship is designed to have perfect coverage. And you could just, because there's so much just continuing shapes, just continue the phaser strips, right? That I think this would do well with. It annoys me to see it has no weapons, right? Like, it has the technical cannon. Like, it's missing so much.
Like I said, those nacelles just extended a little bit further. I say that about a lot of different designs. Where if they just dragged it back a little bit further, it would feel more streamlined and more. I hate to say aerodynamic because, of course, you don't need aerodynamics in space, but just that look, you know.
Space-o-dynamic. Front, back, side. Huh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the side just feels very whale-like for sure. And
I feel like
the
Moya
front,
from Farscape.
the front is very Protostar-esque with the engines down. You know, when it's in Protostar drive mode, and I like the look of it. I really do. Like from the back, it feels like an armadillo or something that's plated. It's almost like spikes on its back. Like it's got a unique look to it. Those end caps on the nacelles at the back look really weird. Not centered, and
Oh yeah. The front view, I think, it shows its disproportionality. The nacelles are giant at the front, like are the biggest, which feels disproportionate. The deflector feels stretched, and there's I'll be honest, for me, an ugly main saucer and then curvature up, which feels out of proportion for then the windows and the top bit. I understand it's we didn't see this from the other views, and it kind of feels integrated from them, but from the front view, that all just feels ugly to me. It's like a cartoon sort of disproportionate ship from the front.
yeah, for me it doesn't feel ugly. But I'm looking at those red inset areas, and they very much have a torpedo like
They have to be
texturing around them.
surely, which is weird.
It is weird because they don't face forward.
Forwardish.
You can see them on the side there. You know, but you launch a torpedo and just it'll go like that, so it's fine.
I mean, there are literally side saucer Akira torpedo launchers.
Yes, that's a torpedo like gunboat kind of thing, just like the Andor class from FASA.
Yes, it is. So back to the first view, so the original view. Yeah, mixed feelings about it. It is different from every view. Orthographically is very different. Many mixed feelings, Stuart. Many mixed feelings. Where are you coming down on this thing at the final hurdle?
I like it. I really do. But like I said, I would like to see the addition of the Star Trek
Isms.
trademarks. Some nacelle stripes on those nacelles. Get a registry number. Get, RCS thrusters thrown in. I think that would help immensely. I like the design. I really do. And it's not by any means an ugly ship for me.
Just that one view, Stuart. That one view. Oh, it's funny. Everything you just said, this makes you think if you made it the Protostar capital ship, articulating nacelles, a bit of the back that can come apart, and then add the Starfleetisms to the main ship, this would work very well as a Protostar but big boy. The shapes are very iterative of that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's just the nacelles are very Protostar-esque. I mean, nobody can deny that. So, but I like the Protostar, so it's fine.
But yeah, it works, but weird. And it just needs a Starfleet coat of paint. But it's an interesting shape. Stowe, you give us so many beautiful oddities, don't you?
Guys, let us know in the comments section if this is one of your favorite ships. If you even knew about it, what do you think of it now that you've seen it? What do you think about our thoughts on it? Let us know. That's what the comment section's for. It's for hanging out and listening to our community. So, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and join us for all of our other stuff that we do. Well, Sam's going to tell you about it. We do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, ships on Stowe, on Modern Trek, on old episodes, live discussing breaking news on topics, on game showy stuff, verses and breakdowns, and a whole lot of stuff on this channel for coming up to 10 years now. Those months rolling on by. So if you want to support us, keep us going for another 10 years, goodness gracious me, Patreon is a superb way to help us each and every month, or join the channel again. There are options, so $1 amount equals certain level perks on the channel. Go take a look, or super chatting on any single live. That can be as low as $1, as much as 55,000 if you'd like to do that. Or super thanks on any video. So if you like this content, hey, throw a super thanks or buy a shirt. A link down below just to spread the Trekyards name. It's all fun, it all helps, and thanks in advance.
That's right. So until next time, he is the emissary himself, Commander Cockings.
And he's just the one and only Captain Foley.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.